Babe, busy right now.
I'm not busy at all. I'm not busy. I'm not busy. I'm about to put a baby in the car. Is that okay? Do you mind taking him to the car? Thank you.
Okay.
Do you mind taking him to the car? Thank you.
Now, so the baby's crying. She's live still. Mind you, they're in a hot climate.
The week printed on memes, plastered in tweets, dissected in YouTube breakdowns. I uploaded everything to the cloud. A promise, a threat, a warning. Because whatever was in that cloud, whatever she claimed to have saved, wasn't just a digital receipt, it was the potential blueprint for a total career collapse. Not just Blueface's, but anyone connected to the alleged cover-up she hinted at during that chaotic stream. And now, the industry's holding its breath. The fallout began immediately. Chrisean's account gone banned across multiple platforms. TikTok wiped. IG suspended. Even backup pages started getting flagged. Reports say they were being mass reported by bots and fan accounts alike. Blueface, silent. Not a tweet, not a subtweet, not a video, just radio silence. Which, for someone as notoriously loud as him, speaks volumes. The footage leaking anyway. Clips showing Chrisean reading text messages aloud. A time-stamped voice memo where a man, allegedly, Blueface, is heard yelling in the background. Unconfirmed. Blurry, but chilling. Legal teams are mobilizing. A lawyer close to the situation told an entertainment blog, if what she claims to have is real, it's not just bad PR, it's criminal. Insiders say Chrisean may now be facing pressure from both sides. Blueface's team allegedly wants her silenced, while some brands and former collaborators are cutting ties entirely. One PR rep was quoted saying, "You can't market chaos, not when it's got legal teeth." But Chrisean's not backing down. In fact, late last night, a new Twitter account surfaced at Truth in the Cloud Anonymous, but posting cryptic quotes from the livestream. One pinned tweet reads, "Silence protects the abuser." Screenshots expose him. It has 1.7 million views in under 12 hours. So now the world waits. Is the cloud real? Is more coming? That's the question echoing across social media timelines, press rooms, podcast panels, and Hollywood circles, whispered in back channels, dissected in group chats, debated in studios, and feared in boardrooms. Because, if even half of what she said is true, this isn't just a viral meltdown, a messy episode in the never-ending saga of fame meets scandal. This is a reckoning. The kind that doesn't just cancel careers, it exposes systems. The kind that doesn't end with gossip, it ends with grand juries. We're in the eye of the storm. And the air feels different now. It's heavier, sharper, less theatrical, more terminal. Because the people paying attention, the ones really watching, know that this moment feels like a shift. A crack in the facade. The part in the story where we stop laughing and start listening closely. The question isn't just what happens next, it's how deep does this go? Multiple insiders, some speaking anonymously, say there are already quiet conversations happening behind closed doors. Legal teams on standby, NDAs being reviewed, old employees reaching out to reporters. A few, reportedly, have already spoken to authorities off the record. The whispers aren't random anymore. They're aligned, and they're getting louder. We're not talking about petty drama anymore. This isn't a spat between lovers or clout chasers dropping cryptic tweets for clicks. This is about power. About abuse. About patterns, and most importantly, it's about accountability. As one top commenter put it best, in a line that's gone viral faster than any headline. This isn't Chrisean being messy. This is Chrisean setting fire to the house she was trapped in, and daring everyone to look away. That's not shade, that's testimony. We've seen this pattern before. Survivors come forward, and instead of being met with belief, they're met with skepticism, memes, and character assassination. Their pain becomes a punchline. Their trauma becomes trending content, until it stops being funny, until it starts getting real, until subpoenas show up, until documents leak, until lawyers speak, until the house actually starts burning. Because what makes this moment different is that Chrisean isn't just telling a story, she's exposing a structure. A system of silence, complicity, grooming, and survival. The unspoken rules of the entertainment industry that everyone knows but no one dares speak aloud, until someone like her does. Publicly, emotionally, relentlessly. And maybe that's why people are finally paying attention. Because this time, it doesn't feel like a publicity stunt. It doesn't feel performative. It feels raw. It feels dangerous. So yes, more is likely coming. More names, more receipts, more ripple effects, and while it's tempting to treat this like just another celebrity expose, there's a reason that industry feels nervous. There's a reason executives are reviewing contracts. There's a reason PR teams are staying up late. There's a reason people who haven't tweeted in years are suddenly choosing their words very carefully. Because when the first domino falls in public, everyone else starts checking their footing. There's also the human side. Behind the headlines are people who've carried shame, secrets, and survival strategies for years. Some of them are just now finding their voice. Others are still too afraid to speak. But when someone like Chrisean steps out from the shadows, it sends a signal. You're not alone. It gives language to pain that others have kept locked inside. It gives courage. It gives possibility. And it gives warning to those who've harmed others under the protection of silence. That protection is dissolving. And now, the next chapter isn't about drama. It's about justice. Or survival. Maybe both. It's about whether the public is finally ready to hear the ugly truths behind the beautiful illusions. It's about whether law enforcement will finally do more than monitor the situation. It's about whether the culture will stop rewarding silence and start honoring truth. Because the moment we're in now, it's not just cultural, it's legal, it's spiritual, it's systemic. It's what happens when the people who were once controlled by fear decide they've got nothing left to lose. And when that moment hits, you can't put the fire out. You can only watch what it reveals. So where do we go from here? That depends. Will the industry brace for change, or try to cover its tracks? Will survivors continue to speak, or be drowned out by clickbait? Will we as an audience demand accountability, or get distracted by the next shiny scandal? Those answers are coming. And one way or another, they'll shape what Hollywood looks like next year. What we value, what we believe, what we tolerate. Because this moment, this movement, it isn't going away quietly. Stay tuned, because while some are trying to shut the curtains and change the narrative, others are turning the lights on. And whether this ends with headlines or handcuffs, one thing is clear: we are not in the beginning anymore. We are in the fallout, and the truth always survives the fire. He can't take that back. That's how the video ends. Chrisean voice shaking, barely holding it together, but clear about one thing: something was taken from her. Not just peace, not just privacy, but control. And now she's reclaiming it piece by piece, cloud by cloud. Here's what we know: she wasn't bluffing. That cloud folder just in case exists. Fans confirmed it contains multiple files, each timestamped, and some dating back to early 2023. The receipts are damning, from medical visit confirmations to screen recordings of allegedly threatening texts. Even audio files where a man presumed to be Blueface makes veiled threats like, "You think people gonna care? I'll flip the whole story." The cousins' involvement was calculated. Sources close to Chrisean say she gave him access months ago as a dead man switch, an emergency plan if things went too far, and now it's activated. The internet reacts. #BelieveWomen and #ProtectChristian began trending, and the tone around her changed dramatically. People who once mocked her chaotic energy are now calling her a survivor hiding in plain sight. Prominent creators and even some celebs have begun publicly supporting her. One R&B artist tweeted, "That wasn't a meltdown. That was a woman breaking free. Don't confuse the two." Meanwhile, Blueface's silence is deafening. His last post, partying with no caption, now has over 90,000 comments. Most of them demanding accountability or calling for investigation. The industry's watching closely. Multiple insiders have said Chrisean's Zeus network contracts could be terminated. Not because of the meltdown, but because the content might now be part of a legal case. One rep reportedly said, "If there's criminal activity on tape, it changes everything. You can't air trauma for ratings." What's next? Lawyers are circling. Sources say both parties have retained counsel. One is reportedly preparing a defamation claim. The other, Considering a civil suit tied to domestic violence, the cloud folder may become public record. If legal filings begin, those files could be subpoenaed and entered as evidence, which means we haven't even seen the worst of it yet. Chrisean's next move? Unclear, but those close to her say she's done playing games. One confidant said, "She's been protecting him longer than the public ever knew. But now she's protecting herself." The bottom line: this stopped being celebrity drama a long time ago. This is now a survival story of a woman whose pain was entertainment until it became undeniable. And as one viral tweet said, "Y'all watched Chrisean spiral for years." Turns out she wasn't spiraling, she was sending signals. And now that the world's finally listening, the truth sounds a lot like a scream. This isn't over. Not even close. More leaks are expected. Legal action may follow. And for the first time in a long time, Chrisean Rock isn't backing down. Stay locked in. The cloud hasn't finished raining yet. The leak of the "he said, I was crazy" folder completely changed the narrative. This wasn't a random outburst or a breakdown caught on camera. It was a calculated move. Chrisean Rock had been quietly building her case, collecting evidence for months. What she revealed showed a deeper level of control, silence, and manipulation. The documents pointed to Zeus Network docking her pay for behavior they reportedly encouraged during filming. Screenshots and audio suggested that executives discussed using unreleased footage against her if she ever spoke out. Messages she sent to Blueface with photos of injuries were dismissed with cold replies, like "You be doing too much." A recording of a phone call appeared to capture a Zeus producer threatening to leak damaging footage, saying she wouldn't survive the backlash. Twice. This wasn't just emotional abuse, it looked like a deliberate effort to discredit her and protect a profitable image. The backlash wasn't gradual, it hit like a wave. As soon as Chrisean's iCloud folder leaked, the internet shifted from jokes to serious outrage. People stopped seeing it as messy celebrity drama and started asking hard questions. How long has this been going on? Who else knew? How many others were ignored or silenced in the name of ratings? What started as chaos turned into a cultural moment. Platforms lit up with hashtags calling for justice and accountability. On TikTok, users who once joked about Chrisean's outbursts began posting apologies. One viral post with millions of views showed her past breakdowns side by side with emotional trauma indicators. Captioned, "This wasn't entertainment, this was exploitation." Even major content creators who had previously mocked her behavior began reversing their takes, admitting they had contributed to her public unraveling. Celebrities joined in too. Rihanna quietly liked a post calling for grace, while JT from City Girls tweeted support. Ari Fletcher went live to admit she was wrong. Kick Palmer reposted a clip of the deleted livestream with a haunting caption about how reality shows fail when real pain starts. But the most powerful moment came when Nicki Minaj responded, and suddenly, the industry was forced to listen. "Then maybe we shut her up before she can." That one sentence turned everything upside down. What began as a messy celebrity livestream has unraveled into something far more sinister, a potential conspiracy, caught on camera, suggesting deliberate silencing. Within hours of the clip leaking, #then maybe we trended across every major platform. People weren't just reacting anymore, they were demanding accountability. Nicki Minaj had earlier tweeted and quickly deleted. Zeus knew. That's why they kept giving her shows. Pain sells. It sparked immediate backlash and even more scrutiny of the network. Brands didn't wait for court rulings. Fashion Nova dropped Blueface and scrubbed all ads featuring him. A streaming platform ended licensing talks with Zeus. A major energy drink pulled both Blueface and Chrisean from a 2024 campaign, citing brand instability. But not everyone turned away from Chrisean. Behind the scenes, she's reportedly receiving offers to book deals, a major documentary proposal, and a potential scripted series titled Behind the Mic, being developed by Taraji P. Henson's team. There's even talk of a trauma recovery foundation partnership, shifting her from a reality TV punchline to a symbol of survival and resilience. Meanwhile, Zeus Network is imploding. Former crew members are coming forward with damning claims, editing that favored Blueface, encouragement of fights, and emotional breakdowns promoted as episode highlights. A Change.org petition to #cancel Zeus gathered over 250,000 signatures. In a weekend, subscriber numbers are plummeting, and legal heat is rising, with potential class action suits from other cast members now gaining momentum. One Instagram model with over 2 million followers posted a blurred contract and a caption, I was next after Chrissy. I just didn't get the chance. Her post hinted at a shelved crossover show, adding fuel to speculation that what happened to Chrisean wasn't an isolated incident, it was a pattern. Now, as Chrisean's "he said I was crazy" folder continues to leak piece by piece, the entire reality TV industry is under a microscope. A lawyer summed it up best: this isn't just about one woman. It's about how much pain networks have been willing to monetize, and how little they've done to stop it. And that video in the folder's final subfolder. It's not just proof, it's the turning point. Because it didn't just expose the abuse, it exposed the system that allowed it. They wanted to leak something first. Make her look unstable before she does. That was the plan, a premeditated media takedown, designed to discredit her before she had the chance to speak. The real reason Chrisean went live, according to a close friend, was because she found out about that meeting just hours beforehand. A stylist on set tipped her off after overhearing someone say, "Make sure we have backup cameras in case she loses it. Again, we need proof she's the problem." That's when it clicked. They weren't just waiting for her to spiral, they were setting her up. So she flipped the script. She went live before they could strike. She didn't break down. She broke the game. And now, the final folder leak. The baby file. One last encrypted file was unlocked from her cloud. The title: "If something happens to me, send this to the blogs." Inside, an ultrasound from January 2024. Messages from Blueface saying, "If that's mine, be handling it my way," and voice memos of Chrisean crying, saying, "I don't even feel safe having another baby." Another baby. According to the leak, she may be pregnant again, and the stakes are higher than ever. This time, she was allegedly pressured to stay silent, not just to protect Blueface's image, but to shield Zeus Network from scandal. Also included was a journal entry that simply read, "I was supposed to be the storyline. Turns out I was the warning." The cliffhanger. It's not over. A now deleted tweet from a verified music journalist sent shockwaves through both the entertainment industry and fan communities alike. The tweet, which barely lasted 2 hours before vanishing, claimed that a major Hollywood figure had reached out to her directly, allegedly offering support, interest, and possibly even a deal. What kind of deal? That's where things get even more interesting. According to sources close to the situation, a documentary may already be in the early stages of development. One centered on truth-telling, industry secrets, NDAs, betrayal, survival, and the woman currently at the center of it all, Chrisean. Yes, that Chrisean. The one they tried to dismiss, to silence, to paint as too unstable to be taken seriously. The one they tried to control through gossip, gaslighting, and non-disclosure agreements. But now, it seems, the tables are finally turning and the media is starting to listen, because here's the twist no one expected. The truth isn't just coming, it might already be packaged, edited, and heading to a platform near you. Executives are whispering. Distribution rights are being floated. And if the rumors are true, this isn't going to be a soft, sugar-coated, image-cleansing redemption story. This is going to be raw, messy, and unfiltered. The kind of story that rattles people in power. The kind of story that lifts the curtain on the carefully protected machine behind fame. And it's not just about Chrisean anymore. Blueface's NDA. There are rumblings that it's either been breached or about to be. Lawyers are circling, not to issue warnings, but to examine if that once airtight agreement can hold water now that public interest and possible misconduct are involved. Depending on what surfaces next, we might see legal maneuvering that turns everything we thought we knew about this situation completely on its head. And then there's the secret meeting the one insiders have been buzzing about for weeks. Whispers have swirled about a hush-hush sit-down that allegedly took place late last year. In attendance, artists, producers, and at least one well-known executive. Its purpose: crisis control. Now, someone else who was in that room might be ready to talk. Whether out of guilt, fear, or an offer they couldn't refuse, they're talking. And if that happens, we're looking at a domino effect. One testimony leads to another. One crack in the foundation reveals the rot underneath. Because where there's one NDA, there's usually 10 more, and they all start to mean less when the public is finally paying attention. But perhaps the biggest twist of all, Chrisean's team just dropped the teaser for another live stream. And this time, she won't be alone. This time, she's not just talking into a phone in a dim room, trying to make sense of years of trauma in real time. This time, she's showing up with a full legal team, on camera and present. A timeline of events, complete with receipts. And most chilling of all, names. She's naming names. We're no longer in the realm of vague allegations and cryptic quotes. We're entering territory that could lead to lawsuits, subpoenas, even criminal investigations. This is the live stream they never wanted you to see. The momentum is building. And it's becoming clear. This is not just another celebrity spiral. This is the undoing of silence. A calculated, strategic reclaiming of narrative. A demand not just to be heard, but to be believed, supported, and vindicated. And the ones who thought she'd fold. They're the ones folding now. They're scrubbing content. Releasing cold PR statements. Pulling scheduled appearances. Watching brand partnerships disappear like mist. Because if Chrisean has nothing left to lose, they have everything. Here's what we know. Industry insiders are on edge. Contracts are being reviewed. Damage. Control teams are not sleeping. This is no longer about messy headlines or internet gossip. This is about power. And what happens when one woman decides she's done being used, erased, manipulated, or mocked? So, what happens next? That live stream may be the most explosive yet. Not because it will be loud or chaotic, but because it's coming with legal backing and public momentum. It's coming with evidence, strategy, purpose, and when she speaks this time, the world will be listening differently, because now they know what's at stake. To be continued. Absolutely. But don't expect a quiet continuation. Expect fire. Expect fallout. Expect truth, because the next chapter isn't just a new episode in the drama. It's the reckoning. The one they never wanted you to see. And now you're going to. Stay tuned. Would you like a teaser version of this formatted for Instagram or TikTok Reels? Tools ChatGPT can make mistakes. Check important info. What just unfolded wasn't just another celebrity scandal. It was a direct hit to the entertainment industry's darkest corners. Chrisean Rock didn't just speak, she exposed an entire machine. And with more leaks still unreleased, the fallout has only begun. So now, the question isn't what happened to her, it's how far did they go to cover it up? Was Chrissy planning a comeback or fighting for her life? And if the pregnancy is real, what happens next? Should Blueface, Zeus, and everyone involved be held accountable? Or is this what happens when reality TV goes too far? Let us know what you think. The world is listening now. Tools, every theory, every angle, every piece of tea you're holding back, don't sit on it, because this isn't the moment to be quiet. This isn't the time to be scared of sounding crazy, messy, or too much. This is the moment to speak up. To connect the dots. To compare receipts. To stop protecting a system that has never protected us, and if you're still holding on to something, some knowledge, some suspicion, some story you've been too afraid to say out loud, this is the sign you've been waiting for. Say it, share it, drop it in every group chat you've got. Because this story is nowhere near over, in fact, it's just getting started. The people who thought this would blow over in 48 hours, who thought this would be just another viral spiral, that dies in the next news cycle. They're already scrambling, deleting tweets, canceling meetings, calling lawyers, because what they underestimated was Chrisean's silence. What looked like defeat was really a regroup. What looked like chaos was actually strategy. And what they thought was her breaking point was actually her turning point. Chrisean's next livestream. It's not just content, it's not just entertainment. It's a warning shot. Because from everything we're hearing, her legal team isn't just locked in, they're building a timeline, a chain of evidence, a narrative that doesn't just drag names, it implicates systems, contracts, collaborators, enablers, people in suits, people in studios, people behind the cameras who always made sure their hands looked clean, but not anymore. The veil is lifting, and the truth is about to be televised. This is bigger than messy breakups and viral memes. This is about the line between trauma and exploitation, between survival and silencing. And if you've been paying attention, you already know. The industry loves a comeback story, but only if it's quiet, only if it doesn't name names, only if it keeps the brand partnerships intact and the skeletons nicely zipped up behind PR-crafted statements. But not this time, because the woman they labeled unhinged, crazy, too far gone. She's got something they never accounted for, the truth, and nothing left to lose. Let's not sugarcoat it. What's coming won't be easy to watch. It's going to challenge what you thought you knew. It's going to make you uncomfortable. It's going to call out people you once admired. But that's what real change looks like. Uncomfortable, unfiltered, and unstoppable. So don't scroll past this. Don't let the algorithm decide what's worth your attention. Because this is one of those moments, the kind that reshapes careers, shatters facades, and redefines what accountability looks like in the digital age. So here's what you do. Smash that subscribe button. Tap the notification bell. Share this with the friends who already know what time it is, and even the ones who don't, because the next wave isn't just gossip, it's justice. It's power shifting. It's a woman burning down the house she was locked inside and making sure we all see the smoke. And trust. The next chapter, it's not the one they wanted you to hear. It's not PR approved. It's not filtered for palatability or smoothed out with legalese. It's raw, it's angry, it's real, and it's coming sooner than they can silence it. They tried to paint her as unpredictable. They tried to break her spirit. They tried to write her off as a meltdown in motion. But they forgot something crucial. The ones they tried to erase the hardest are often the ones carrying the truth.